While you were rescuing Varnus, I marched our advance force east. Walks and Ash was able to ascertain that no soul flayers were lying in wait, so we moved carefully and made camp here, in the shadow of Mor Naril. I fear this may be as far as we go. Our scouts mapped a path through the outer temple, but the worm cult blocked every approach to the inner precincts with soul flayers. If we storm Mor Naril, we'll fall as soon as we enter the death fields. And the Wraith Forge will claim our souls. We must find a counter to the soul flayers, a way around them, a defense, anything. Walks hasn't figured out how to foil the death magic, so she sent Razumdar to study the situation. Join him in the outer temple. See if a solution presents itself. Walks and Ash sent Razumdar into the outer temple to the south. I'll call for the rest of our forces. Then we'll hold our position until you and he find a way to bypass or overcome Mor Naril's defenses. Be swift, my friend. We must stop Mannimarco. Not much, I fear. Only what we've been able to piece together from your findings, what Varnus uncovered while held captive, and what Jitra and Regent Corinway were able to tell us. The place is an ancient Daedric temple to Molag Bal. Of that we are sure. Why else set the Soul Flayer death fields to protect the place? I think something inside allows them to use necromancy in unimaginable ways. The writhing walls, soul reapers, a new plane meld, they have mastered some new power. Yes, Varnus thinks the plane meld was set in motion to retrieve the Wraith Forge from Cold Harbor, which explains the large island being drawn down toward Mor Naril. Whatever Mannimarco's ultimate goal, I suspect resurrecting his body is part of it.
Archmagister Varnus. After Gabrielle, I believe this belongs to you.
My staff. Thank you for looking after it, Walks in Ash. And I miss Gabrielle too. I have barely begun to acclimate myself with the Fellowship and adjust to the fact that Gabrielle is gone, and Mannimarco has returned. But the problems of the Soul Flayers and the Wraith Forge loom, like an executioner's blade above our necks.
I sent Razumdar to examine the Soul Flayers from as close as he dares get. Perhaps his clever eyes will see something that my study of the notes and power core has not. Meanwhile, I will discuss other options with Varnus Galarian.
Be careful near Mor Naril. It was a cursed place long before the corpse stealers came to Solstice. Soul Flayers are not the only danger in that old temple.
You and Raz be careful out there, friend. These new Soul Flayers aren't the kind of toys you want to play with.
I was wondering where that smooth-talking Khajiit went. Better go see what Raz is up to, pal, before he gets himself into trouble.
Walks and Ash sent Razumdar into the outer temple to the south.
Yeah!
Greetings, Five Claw. Raz is happy to see a familiar face in this bleak ruin. Raz presumes Prince Azah sent you? This one is grateful for the assistance. These damnable soul flayers are like glass bottles full of kindle pitch. Your first misstep around them will be your last. Not yet. When someone wanders too close, they release a pulse of necrotic energy, killing the body and harvesting the soul. Ugh. Still, Raz noticed something odd. Smoke in the western part of the ruins. A camp, he thinks. Who else but the worm cult would be in this place? Perhaps the cultists are not quite finished setting up their defenses. Or maybe they are guarding something there. Either way, it calls for a closer look. What do you think, Five Claw? Here, this one will mark the spot on your map. Look for the smoke when we get close, yes? Raz is grateful for your company, Five Claw. Cultists and Daedra patrol these ruins. It is unwise to travel alone. You rescued Vanus? Nice work! Prince Azah discovered this one's usefulness as a scout and spy. While you were busy, Raz occupied himself with searching this side of the island for worm cult activity. There are low-ranking worm cultists everywhere, but few leaders or major outposts besides Gristmong Hold. Raz thinks most of the important cultists have withdrawn behind Mor Naril's walls. They are counting on their soul flayers to defend them. The heaviest concentration of the flayers is within the inner precinct, or up on the walls. Stay alert, and you can spot them before you get too close. But we must be careful. Some flayers are hidden among the ruins, or positioned around corners. Raz learned the hard way. First, a chill runs along the back of your neck. Then a horrible, racking pain ripples through your body. If you are quick, you can retreat before the flayer rips out your soul. So far, Raz has been quick.
Let's ride.
This seems to be the wrong way. A letter? What does it say? Flaw in their defenses? We need to find this flaw. If Deer can slip past the Soul Flayer's death fields, then our forces can do so as well. Let us head west and see what we can learn. But be careful, Five Claw. The fault in their defenses may have already been repaired. How did that deer get past the death field? And what killed this cultist? Check the body carefully. Another letter? Does it explain what happened here? The only soul flare Raz sees is above us, beyond the crack in the wall. Did this cultist walk into the death field and tumble down here? Yet if the device worked well enough to kill her, how did the deer pass by unscathed? Raz knows that statues are not always just statues. And that one does not look like it belongs here. But a stone nest warrior made of stone next to a crack in the wall of an old Daedric ruin? This one wonders. Living statues? Ah, this one walked here then. But Raz thinks it walks no longer. Still, the old magic that gave this Voskrona life must linger in some way, and it interferes with the soul flayers. There must be some way we can use this. Ha! Raz likes the way you think, but he must point out the flaw in your idea. While the deer survived, the cultists did not. The statue's protection is either limited or unreliable. Raz would feel silly if he died lugging around a statue. Raz thinks so too. We need to learn more about this statue. Our Stone Nest allies must know something. It certainly appears to be one of theirs, yes? Return to camp and ask Jitra about it. Raz will follow soon, after a bit more scouting.
Yeah! Yeah!
I can plainly see a question upon your tongue, mainlander.
I am as eager as every soldier in this camp to hear your report. But it is clear as the desert sky that you wish to speak to Jitra first. Very well. I shall not hinder your investigation with needless questions. At least not yet.
I prepared my villagers and Barjossa for interment in the stone, but it was clear they were incomplete, hollow. Damn the corpse stealers for taking their souls. But you did not come to hear me complain, did you? Speak your question. Ah, the Voskrona Colossals. My ancestors sent them against Mor Naril in the distant past. I thought nothing remained of those statues but the unliving stone. You remind me that this is not the first time we face necrotic enemies who steal souls. Long ago, my people were called upon to battle a terrible evil in Mor Naril. They made the Voskrona for that purpose. Down through the ages, evil has returned from time to time. Most recently, when the Corellanias came to plunder Mor Naril's secrets. You ask about old stories, tales for kin fresh out of the egg. I cannot say how many are true. This is a question for a wise elder. Luckily, I know one. Meet me in the caves at Basking Stone to the southwest. We will find Sonasa there. Sonasa has taken refuge in the hills to the southwest. The caves of Basking Stone have protected my people in the past, although it has been centuries since we needed them as we do now. Hopefully, the Elder will have the answers you seek. You ask of things I was not taught as a death dancer. I assume many of the Voskrona around Mor Naril were damaged or destroyed in battle. I suspect any intact colossals are simply inert, having fulfilled their purpose long ago. Who knows? All I can tell you is that Voskrona do not stir without a purpose. If these Voskrona are still, no purpose remains to move them. Perhaps they simply completed whatever they were sent to Mor Naril to do long ago. Long ago? Hundreds of years? Thousands? My people do not bother to count the seasons as others do. How do you sit by the river and count the stones along its bank? I suppose you would say it happened sometime in the First Era? Power? What else? The Coralanias who first came here were necromancers. They sought Daedric relics, hidden secrets, forbidden weapons. My people told them to avoid Mor Naril, but the elves were driven by dark ambitions. They ignored our warnings. Our stories tell of how the Stone Nest people fought back. Our elders know those tales better than I do, but I've heard that, in the end, the Coralania's ambitions consumed them. Those who live in Sunport now are a lesser but wiser house.
An interesting development, comrade. Go with Jitra. Speak to this elder. Perhaps we will actually find an answer in the old tales of the Stone Nest people.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Ah, Mainlander. Jitra waits for you below.
Jitra told us to watch for you. You may pass. Elder Tsonasa, my ally has questions about the long vigil.
Those stories are not meant for outsiders, Jitra. But I have heard tales of this one. I will speak with the Mainlander.
I do not like to see my people forced to hide from enemies in our own homeland. But only a fool stands out in the open when the storm comes. The Elder will speak to you. Ask your questions.
You wish to hear of the long vigil? The legend says we did not come to Solstice by accident. Long ago, we were guided here. In exchange for our new home, we were entrusted with a sacred mission to guard the world's soul against the final dark. These attacks by the Daedric realms are not new. It is said our ancestors armored their spirits in stone. They created the Vaskrana to resist death magic, so they could seal the forbidden fane and deprive it of souls. Indeed, they set the Colossals to watch over Mor Naril forever. The long vigil. Alas, the secret to awaken them is lost. We carved our memories in stone, but the obelisk of the long vigil crumbled centuries ago. All that remains are the legends. There are two sides to every story. Long after our ancestors first sealed Mor Naril, they had to fight off Corellania forays. Elven records of those troubled times reside in the library of the Sea and Sword Lodge. You could seek your answers there. It is ironic. The words we carved in stone and committed to our hearts are now lost to us. But Corellania scholars with ink and fragile parchment may have preserved something we did not. Look for the lodge in the mountains to the west. I am not the keeper of that story. I know only what I heard recited long ago, when I was but newly hatched. But as I heard it, our people were told to make warriors of stone when we first came to Solstice, an army to face the final dark. Our ancestors marched against Mor Naril, a terrible battle against the Daedric legions of Molag Bal ensued. Many stone-nest warriors fell, and many Vaskrana were destroyed. But some reached the forbidden place, the Wraith Forge. The Wraith Forge was banished, torn from the very rock in the heart of Mor Naril. Some say the Vaskrana destroyed it. Others say Molag Bal took it into his realm to preserve it. No one remembers the exact details now. I do not think so. Many of our people have been killed, yes. But Pasking Stone is not our only refuge. There are other places of safety, hidden throughout the stone of Eastern Solstice. Whole villages may have found shelter in them. Alas, no. Two elders carried the tale of the Vaskrana, and I knew them both. They died when the worm cult first occupied our land, victims of the senseless slaughter. We are lessened by their deaths. But we are not defeated yet. I am not the keeper of that store.
I know someone at the Elven Library. I will meet you there, Mainlander. We will remind the corpse stealers that our vigil is not yet done.
Good hunting, Death Dancer. I will listen to the stone and see if more can be remembered.
The Lodge of the Sea and Sword College is in the mountains, not far from where the writhing wall stood. I do not know what we will find there. Solstice's troubles have left few places untouched.
It is ironic.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Careful, Daedra. We must reach the library in the southern section of the complex. The lodge was not overrun by Daedra the last time I visited these halls. We must proceed with caution to reach the library. It lies in the lodge's southern section. This tunnel was not here before. What have the Daedra done?
Never a dull moment.
That door leads to the library, but it appears locked. They kept a key in the study hall to the north. That should unlock the door to the library. There, down below. Tendencie the librarian. This way.
Stay back, Daedra. I will not warn you again. Oh, Jeetra. What are you doing here?
We need your help. Go on, Mainlander. Tell her what we seek.
I am glad to see Jeetra alive after all the recent troubles. We have collaborated before, but it has been some time. And as I'm sure you noticed, the lodge is not safe. What brings you here? A dark and dangerous subject, I fear. We keep books of that sort hidden. You could search these shelves for years to no avail. We do not want to tempt anyone to repeat the mistakes of the past. What exactly do you hope to find? Ah, searching for solutions to our current predicament, no doubt. You may be onto something. It is true that the Stone Nest repelled the first Corellania expedition to Eastern Solstice. But do any of their ancient colossals remain intact? Very well. Allowing outsiders to have a look at the restricted parts of our collection is rather against the rules. But under these circumstances, I think it would be warranted. One moment. I need to refer to our catalogue. Yes, these may be of help to you. There. I summoned the volumes that should contain the information you seek. Not many records survive from the middle of the First Era, unfortunately. What little remains that would be relevant to your inquiry is in the glowing tomes I summoned from the vaults. I hope something within them can help you.
The old Corellanias tried to claim Mor Naril, but my ancestors used the vast Krona to stop them. Kinlord Orlamar took the eyes from the sacred statues and displayed them at his manor. The brazen thief. Let us discuss the contents of these tomes, Mainlander.
It never occurred to me that the seeds of our current troubles may have been sown so long ago. Perhaps Jitra, or one of her people, can help you place those old records in their proper context.
Strange to see my people's legends confirmed in these ancient Corellanian writings. But I am not sure how it helps us make use of the Voskrona Colossals. I thought that phrase was unusual. I assumed it was some sort of metaphor. You suggest that the ancient Voskrona once had literal eyes. The dormant colossals at Mor Naril have empty sockets, but no eyes. So, you could be onto something. The Stone Nest people remember Kinlord Orlamar as a difficult neighbor. Under his reign, Sunport expanded into Eastern Solstice. I am not surprised he hoarded our sacred relics in the vaults beneath Vaidenhill. They may still be there. Let me see your map. The manor sits beside a lake to the north. There are stories about treasures hidden there, traps as well. But Vaidenhill is in ruins now. Orlamar did not enjoy his gold or stolen relics for long. I will meet you there.
Do not concern yourself over me. I am more than capable of defending myself, and I refuse to abandon my books. But I am glad to see that Solstice still has its defenders.
I have never heard of anyone opening a secret vault in Vaidenhill. It is possible it has remained sealed since Orlamar's time. Let us go and see whether the eyes of the Colossal are still there.
Good hunting to all of you. Hopefully you can put a stop to all this chaos.
Over so soon?
I doubt we will find much among the surface ruins. If anything remains to be recovered from this place, it must be somewhere below. Look for an entrance or a hole in the ground. The old tomes spoke of the eyes of the Colossal, something that fits in the face of a Voskrona. Restore them to a statue at Mor Naril, and we should bring it to life. How we get the Voskrona to protect us from the flayers is a problem for later. One or two eyes could be misplaced, but I think my ancestors would have stopped any systematic looting of the Voskrona. No, I think it more likely that our own elders removed the eyes, and then lost that knowledge somewhere along the way. Guardians such as the Colossals are not meant to remain constantly active. The legends say they were called from sleep when required. But whatever the reason, they are lost to us. If the Kinlord's greed proves useful, we may find the eyes here. A trap door. Let us descend and see if it leads to the Kinlord's vault. It seems we must watch out for vermin as well as undead.
Let's not some heads.
What became of us? When first we came to this land, we tamed the wilds with sword and spell.
A Coralania ghost, trapped by its own regrets. I wonder what it sees in those ancient murals.
Got your back.
There is no telling what horrors the old Coralanias used to protect their treasures. Be on your guard, Mainlander, as we descend into the depths. I think this is the vault. Now, how do we open it? Interesting. These symbols correspond with the figures the ghost was looking at. I have little patience for puzzles, but I think the symbols on the pedestals are important. They seem to match the images in the mural the ghost was looking at. Does not look right to me. The order of the symbols must be important. It is working. Try another pedestal. That did it. The ward protecting the door is gone. Look around. If the eyes of the Colossal are here, we must find them. Like the Coralanias of old. They had no use for a thing, yet they kept it anyway. Look for a display, perhaps. You found the eyes? Good. May I see them? Interesting. To hold in my hands a legend out of time. Take the eyes of the Colossal to the Fellowship camp. I will go to Basking Stone Refuge and summon Elder Tsonasa. We will need him for what comes next. How should I know? I am not an elder. Waking a Vos Krona could be the easy part. What if they cannot tell the difference between the corpse stealers and the Stirk Fellowship? You are all strangers to them. So Nasa can help us with that. I hope. Optimism is not in my nature, but I agree. Now that Elder Sonasa has had some time to think, he may remember more. If we put these eyes in his hands, I believe the answer we need will come to him. I will see you at the camp.
Ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to ride.
Comrade, a Stone Nest Elder waits to speak with you.
The Worm Cult has a little interest in the old stories of the Stone Nest people. I suspect they will soon regret their ignorance. Speaking of which, Elder Sonasa is waiting to talk to you.
Elder Sonasa is waiting to speak with you, friend. Somehow, I am not surprised to learn that the Stone Nest people have a few secrets of their own about this ancient island.
Hey, pal, I hear you're busy with a surprise for the Worm Cult. Good. We owe them a few. Speaking of which, Elder Sonasa is waiting to talk to you.
Jitra told me of your adventures in retrieving the eyes of the Colossal. But I am even more impressed by this alliance you have built. My days as a warrior are long past, but I will help if I can. Do you have the sacred eyes? These are the eyes. Our tales speak of the Voskrona Colossals and their eyes, but no one knew exactly what our ancestors meant. These crystals are a promise, a sign that the long vigil was not in vain. You found documents as well? Let me see. As I thought, if there is a ritual, it was lost to time, yet that does not mean you have failed. We may not remember the ritual, but the stone does not forget. I can speak to a colossal, remind it of its purpose. By itself, no. But with the secret eyes you've brought me, we can take control of our Vaskrona Colossal. Guide it. If you go into Mor Naril, you can do so with a powerful ally at your command. Speak with your fellows. I must prepare.
Come, comrade. Let us discuss what you have learned. Razumdar showed me the Argonian statues in the outskirts of Mor Naril. They tell a tale of ancient battle, and hint at a weakness in the worm cult's defenses. Did I hear Elder Sonasa say we can bring one to life? The ancient Argonians who made those statues came up with a simple answer to the problem of foes armed with death magic. Stone warriors have no lives that can be stolen. There must be a way to use this to our advantage. Or march right up to the flayers and smash them. The worm cult would never expect it. Now, how best to spring the surprise? I have it. Your Colossal shall clear the path for our soldiers. This is how we storm Mannimarco's lair. No one alive can get close enough to destroy the Soul Flayers. But a giant walking statue, that is another matter. I knew I could count on you to find a way to defeat the worm cult's defenses. I am in your debt, my friend. Here. Look south, comrade. There stands the worm cult's fortress, Mor Naril. It falls upon us to storm its defenses and defeat Mannimarco to end the threat of the worm cult. The only thing standing in our way are those damnable soul flares.